half empty,
half full.
But no matter how different we are, we're all connected, and we can all make a difference. That's why United Way brings people, expertise, and resources together to improve the education, income, and health of our communities, the building blocks for a better life. When we live united, our efforts, magnified by others, add up to real change. Children succeed in school, families gain financial stability, the health of our neighbors improves, and suddenly, so do our communities. But real change won't happen without you.
Live united.
So let's look beyond our differences.
Live united.
One by one, let's make a difference. Let's reach out a hand to one and influence the condition of all.
Live united.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Sign up today at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave. But remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Dana on News Talk 970 WBLF.
Said the former FBI director, who is a witness in the investigation into the Trump campaign, should be investigated himself. And also said that his own Justice Department is part of a conspiracy known as the, quote, deep state. None of this normal, none of this acceptable, none of this, frankly, stable behavior.
Well, so that happened last night. And just let me, first off, welcome to the show. I'm Dana Lash, at DLash on Twitter, official Dana Lash on Facebook. Let me share with you the tweet from the president. He had said,
Hey friends, a pleasant good evening. Welcome to Lions Live. Happy New Year to everybody. It's a great 2018. What a way to start out the year with a big Penn State win. My name's Skip Drabelbis. The Grizz Jimmy Kennedy's with us. Yakov Israel and the big dude Stephen Davis will be on here shortly with us. So we're all thankful here, guys, to be bringing in a new season like this with a nice win for Penn State. Great bowl game, and just so thankful, man. We're all blessed, and great, nice, cold night here at State College to talk about it. How you guys been doing, Jimmy? I bet you have it nice out there in Arizona still.
Hey, you know what? I'm actually out of my place at LA. You know, we got a little cloudy weather. It's kind of cold. Hey, you ain't got to rub it in, man. I'm just saying, it's kind of cold right now. It's 66 and cloudy. It's supposed to have a little bit of rain. You know. You done left the East Coast and went cold-blooded, man. I'm out here in flip-flops with a sweatshirt on and blue jeans and walking around, you know. You would laugh if you knew what I had, the clothes I was wearing, man. I got like hats and neck clothes and all types of stuff, man. I believe you. Trying to stay warm, man.
Oh, wow.
I heard it's crazy out east. You know, the whole family keeps telling me about it.
Well, you know, remember, as a kid growing up, I mean, we had cold winters when I had a kid. So, you know, I was glad for a break like this when it was really cold. The ponds would freeze over, and we try to get everybody out and say, hey, man, let's go out try to play some hockey, you know, let's go play some football. You know, we'd be outside playing, you know, and cold didn't bother us. You know, we'd come inside. My mom, you're soaked. How you guys, you know, we had all that energy. Yeah. We had all that energy, you know, so, you know, we're out there burning it up. We're still even sweating a little bit, you know, so it didn't bother us. But I tell you, man, the years go by. I don't know what it does, man. That blood just starts cooling down, and you start feeling it.
Yeah, it definitely thins out here in Arizona and LA. So it definitely thins out a little bit.
Oh yeah, make us feel good. Hey, Jimmy, now did you go to the game? Of
course.
Well, were you on the sidelines?
No, I wasn't on the sideline. I stood in the stands. I didn't want to be a distraction. You know me. I like being low key. Yeah. For the most part, but it was an amazing game, though.
It was.
So yeah, so tell us about it though, Griff. Tell us about, now, was there anything Letterman wise was going on? I caught up with the guys last week and we was talking about everything. It was just, I was out enough for the practices and stuff. The guys were practicing hard. I knew they was ready to go, so it was just about going out there and executing, So the guys were picking my brain a little bit and so on. It was pretty cool. Like I said, I knew when I gave Skip and those guys the update, I knew the guys was ready to roll. It was just the unexpected because, last year we don't have multiple games versus USC, multiple games versus Washington. But watching how the guys was practicing and executing, considering that we had a new listening offensive coordinator and stuff, seeing what they was doing in practice, not skipping the beat and so on. It was just it was encouraging. So I had to root for Penn State, although, we always rooting for them. I just felt like they was going to go out there and do something special, and they did.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed the game. I felt the first quarter was phenomenal. I mean, it was great. And second quarter is still encouraging, because, again, we got 2 touchdowns in the first. We got 2 in the second. And Washington did also. I thought, wait, 2 touchdowns. We're doing all right. Then halftime, and I'm thinking, okay, Washington scores. Well, we scored, and Washington scores. I'm thinking, in the fourth quarter, I'm like, hey, man, I started having these flashbacks to Ohio State, I was like, whoa, I'm not liking this. And what's going on?
Yeah, and I'm excited about the future because I know I'll be able to help a couple of guys and so on. Just for small goals and stuff like that. I think going out, we need to have, I talked to Coach Spencer and stuff about this. Going out, I think we need to have just certain things that we focus on. Not just individual goals, but goals as a defense. Sure. So I'm excited to go out there and help the guys because then we'll be able to put certain things in place. So it'll be a little bit more running around, a little bit more executions, certain things like, what I mean by that is let's try to establish a game where we get, 5 sacks. That's the goal, 5 sacks a game. Keeping them under 17 points or less. Don't allow, more than 70 yards rushing. Just stuff like that we're able to put together and go out there and, put in place and then build on it as we go.
Right.
So.
No, those are great ideas. Those are great ideas. Having goals like that. In fact, I don't know if they're allowed to do that. The NCAA, man, all these rules and stuff. But, having contests and things like that where they can give things away to guys, for as awards and things, but I don't know if they're allowed to do that.
Well, we didn't do it. I mean, it doesn't have to. I wasn't speaking in terms of actually giving something away. I just mean it in the sense of that's what we need to set up as a defense from the time we start spreading the ball going forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like everything revolves around these goals, so that if we want them, we got to get them in the off season. We got to get them now. We got to, so we got to get these goals now because that's when we can move ahead or we can, because everybody's going to be going hard in season, but in the off season, that might be where we can get all of our stats. We can get our stats built up. Yeah. Like I said, once we come up with something where we can be like, all right, here's what we have, here's what we're going to do, this is what we're going to execute as, I think it's just going to set the tone. Like those stuff we stressed and stuff this past week while we were out there, I told them, I said, listen, you guys want to have stacks and stuff, let's go out there and stop the run. Let's go out there and make a team one-dimensional and so on and stop the run. When you do that, guess what? You see, all of a sudden, it's time to pin your ears back and get sacks after sacks after sacks.
Makes some sense. Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's good, man. That'll be great, man. That's what we need.
I personally hope for next year that we can. I'd really like to see us find a way to get a quarterback underneath the center and be able to run between the tackles. All right, I'd really like to see that happen because, to me, I still don't get it. You get down to the 1 yard line. Why are you going to back a guy up 5 yards off the ball just to get a snap? When you can put 2 big guys behind you and you're allowed to push them. I just get too big, put two linemen back behind you and get the quarterback, just have those guys come up, grab a hold of you and push you through, the stuff like that I just like to see happening, like more traditional type of football. Again, just snapping the ball 5 yards off the ball and putting you back the 6 yard line from the start. Just, I don't get that with that type of offense. So that's just my personal preference, because then you're already having to regain up those 4 or 5 yards just to get the line of scrimmage. And I'm thinking if you're there, you're right there under center, man, and you got two big guys behind you, just make that wedge and just push you through, man. You can't tell me those guys can't do that. So there's some things like that, and I'd like to see us, truly, if we're running an option offense, let's see us work on that option too, because we had a couple of plays that were disastrous when it came to option the ball this past. Well,
we fumbled. That fumble.
Oh, I was bad. Yeah, I was like, man, the guy wasn't looking.
Running back, the younger running back. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and I don't know who was doing something wrong in that play, but you got to get everybody on the same page, and also I think we had one where we had a tight end coming around. Was that another game? I can't remember. Somebody was optioning the tight end, trying to be fancy on that, but maybe that was the Alabama game. I can't remember which. I get them all blurred because we have all these games this weekend. It's a bittersweet time of the year because you're like, oh man, football's over, except for one more game. So I'm like,
but you also get to watch all these coaches get fired and so on right now.
Yeah, that's happening. That's happening.
So was there any talk about the new Penn State or not yet?
About what?
The new Penn State coordinator or not yet?
Oh no, then we moved the guy. We did everything in house.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just gonna stand like that.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, and I'm not sure if we were looking, but I know going out while we was out there, everything was in place. So, and I know he called a few games, throughout the season. So it was just like, I believe he fell right in place. So
he's just gonna basically be appointed the head coach or the offensive coordinator, I guess, or maybe he already is.
Yeah. That's what I believe.
Yeah, that's what I see happening.
Yeah, I didn't know what the deal was with that. So okay, that's good.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you're watching at our bowl games, you could see Moorhead was out there at the bowl game for trying to give some commentary up in the booth a little bit, watching the game for his new team out there. So wish him well. Wish him well with all that. And then you have UCF. I mean, you're watching UCF game and. I mean, he just took everybody with him where he's going. So, UCF's now just like having to start over again. So, but there's a lot. And I'll tell you, these other Florida teams, UCF, South Florida, it's nice to see other schools like that have programs that can be up and coming. Because for the longest time we had Miami, Florida State, which is dominating, and of course Jimbo's gone out there and he's heading out to Texas. So. Yeah, just a lot of shaking and baking happen out there in college football, and it'll be interesting to see what comes of the programs. So, what are you thinking of some of the hires, these schools and their picks?
Say the question over again, sir?
What are some of your thoughts with some of the schools and their picks for coaching?
I guess it all just opportunities because everyone's doing, they're doing their own thing. Like, for example, I see like Arizona just fired their coach today. There's a few other places, obviously, that got rid of their coaches, obviously on the college level as well as the professional level. So I guess it all depends on just the conference, because everyone's looking for something different, Well,
but, speaking conference, how about the Big Ten? For one, from Michigan, man, we swept it for the bowls.
For the most part.
Oh yeah, man, we kicked butt. Yeah, I mean that was. SEC can't lay that claim that they got the toughest conference in football now. No way.
But you know how that goes, because just like whenever the Big Ten wins and so on, they always make excuses on how, they were off, they didn't have certain things going their way and so on. But then, when it's the other way around, they're the best conference in ball.
Right. Well, in the Big Ten, we do have majors besides basketball weaving. These schools, some of these guys, I'm like, man, what are you majoring in? And I always see guys doing like the criminal justice thing because, it seems like the easiest major. I'm like, man, you really want to be a cop? Come on. Hey, I don't know. Yeah, so it's definitely a different type of ball, different type of mentality. I don't mean to be bounced around so much here because we got so much to talk about even at Penn State because with Saquon wanting to take off for the NFL. I mean, that's another topic we can touch on here. But, and of course, we got the Alabama game coming up here next week. That's going to be a great game. But let's stick back to Penn State here a little bit. What do you think of Saquon? I mean, a wise move for him and his family. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think it's a wise move, and I think he gives his best, and it's hard for us to really say, hey, wish he would come back, although we all do wish he was coming back for another year. When they have you projected as the number 2 pick overall,
oh my,
it's just how high can it go? Because we already seen him work out. We already know he's a workout warrior.
Oh, yeah.
We already watch the balance. We already see the hurdles and the speed and so on. So now it's just about waiting for the most part, talking, interviewing, and so on for the most part.
Right.
And even if he decides not to work out at the combine, which I'm sure that guy has nothing to hide, I'm sure he's just going to go work out at the combine.
Sure.
If not, he's still going to destroy his pro day and, be in the top 5. So,
no doubt.
It's not even worth him coming back.
Right. Well, when I saw that 93-yard run in the bowl game, I'm like, oh, man, this is just icing on the cake. It's gone. That's it. He's just like sealing the deal with that one. He just said, okay, I got to do it one more time just for everybody. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he came in, from day one. I mean, he's just been a bright spot. It just seemed like he just had a very healthy. Seemed like he stayed healthy. Like you said, whereas like he just has nothing. No blemish. Hardly. He just. So
you know what it is? It's actually from my understanding. He just want to make sure. I mean, from what I got from him, he just want to make sure he takes care of his family. The opportunity is there for him. Right? Like I said, any one of us, he's in his situation. He's a sure top 5 guy.
Oh yeah.
Like no matter how bad it goes, he's in the top 5. Everyone's not usually in that situation, and sadly, he's actually in the top 3. So it's like depending on what the situation is. I like his chances right now because Cleveland has number 1. I'm not sure if they'll go with, a running back at number 1. I think they did that years ago with Trent Richardson, but I don't think they'll do that this year. And then I don't see the Giants passing them with the 2nd pick. And if they do, they'll be crazy.
Yeah.
And if you think back, the Giants drafted Flip Wilson back in the day, but the flips and everything else and so on, first rounder, he wasn't able to, continue to play ball. Yeah. So he retired for his 2nd year.
Wow.
Medically, he couldn't do it. So they lost their first round running back, and that's why they still in this position that they're in now.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, hey, man, I mean, we wish nothing but the best for him and his family. I mean, and we thank him for, the great opportunities we've had to watch him here while he's been at Penn State. And before you know it, he'll be old like all of us. And, we'll
yeah, he's out here in LA with me. He just signed with The Rock. He did. He signed with Rock Nation today.
No kid. That's cool. That's cool. Good, man. That's great.
Yeah, wait. Which one was that you said, Chris?
He's out here in LA. Today he signed with Rock Nation. He posted a picture with him, Jay-Z, and Kim and so on, and Saquon.
Oh, so Saquon did.
Wow.
Yep, so Saquon as well as, yeah.
Wow, and before...
Down with The Rock, boy.
Yeah, well, before he'll be on Ballers, like Spice,
Yeah, there you go.
I like that. That was good. I went back and watched it.
Hey, he got to get some. Hey, Saquon is really, he was like very, good with speaking and all that type of stuff. So I think he would fit great with them because he's not, he's so talented. Just it's not just football, academic. All of his stuff is
Oh, he's got it together. He's got it
Yeah,
together.
that's exactly, Tim. He's got it together. I mean, he could easily get on TV and wow the crowd. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. I mean, I'd see him in the off season, jumping on Ballers, and recording this, a season or two.
Yeah, exactly. But given in that situation right now, like I've said before, in our past, when I was coming out, they turned their nose up to you when you want to do some extracurricular activities, radio shows, movies, and whatever and so on. It looked like a sideways. So now it's definitely going to be a part of his deal. He's going to have commercials and different stuff and so on, and possibly a radio show and different stuff. Yeah. So he's definitely going to have a lot of stuff going his way.
Sure.
And I think that's good because that they get their mind on that now too. I think that's good that they can start thinking that right off the gate.
Well, sure. And
before it was it was something where it was looked at as a certain way, but now it's kind of more accepted now. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, look. I mean, he's got Nike, Adidas, and all the different people are going to be wanting to approach him about wares and stuff. I mean, even with the games, the gaming industry and stuff. I mean, it's madness out there. It's pretty cool. Hey, now Jimmy, what about this? Are you out there in LA? Now, to be honest, are you out there interviewing for Ballers?
Am I out here for Ballers?
Yeah, are you out there interviewing, man? You trying to get on there?
Nah, I'm relaxing, man. I have a house out here, so I'll just be out here hanging out. Remember I told you guys I was going to bring the New Year's out here anyway. I had plans for that.
Yeah.
Prior to, I was going to be out here prior to, Penn State coming out for the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I popped in. I changed my plans.
Yeah. Well,
I had the family leave me when Penn State came out.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You told us because you said the house would be there. Lock it up. Yeah. Well, I just wonder whether you're secretly having meetings out there with Spice and those guys about getting on Ballers, man. I think you'd be great. You'd be great, man. Oh,
I know
awesome.
you guys know me. I'm not the entertainer. I have fun and so on, but if I get into anything, it'll be more with helping, youth or something like that, or doing something with real estate and homes and stuff.
That's cool.
But overall, I have no desire to, jump out in the music industry or anything like that. So I'm fine.
I could see you on Ballers for a season, man. They could get you on there even.
I'm a little too chubby. Right now. The camera adds 10 to 15 more.
Oh,
I don't want to be looking like I'm trying to tone up first so I can look like John Coffey, Green Mile. I gotta be looking yoked. Michael Clark Duncan. I gotta be looking yoked. I gotta take over for him. I'm trying to look like a chocolate Lou Ferrigno out there, I gotta be looking full. Right now I look like a chocolate Homer Simpson.
Oh man!
Man. No. I know you saw my video the other day, Skip. I'll talk about it. My cheeks and stuff.
Yeah, you were. You're kind of hard on yourself, man.
Well, you still got the hair though. You ain't got the free hairs he got though, do you?
Yeah, no, man. I'm still straight up top.
There you go.
I'm just teasing.
Hey, well, a lot of us guys now, we're all gray, or we don't have any. So some of the guys have gone from nothing on top to having it on the face instead.
I mean that's the best way to do it right now. Shave it bald and just keep the beard. I pulled it out a couple of times just to make sure I like it for when that day comes. Let me make sure I don't look crazy here. I'm actually out with this,
You got your wife now, man. She'll keep you looking good.
No, that's a lie. She's stressing me out.
Oh.
That goes. I ain't had no grades until I met her.
Oh.
I got a couple popping on the beard. She's like, I like the salt and pepper. I'm like, you stressing me out. Still out here, man.
Oh, that's good.
Like, slow down, lady.
She's loving you, man. She's loving you. It's
Nah,
all good.
definitely. We're having a blast.
Yeah, that's good.
Coach.
That's good. Oh man, this is the funnest.
I gotta deny it. She might be listening. Everything is great, you guys. Everything is great.
She'll go back on YouTube. She'll be back on YouTube watching it and hearing you again, man. She'll be hemming you up. That's good. No, wow. Hey, well, tell me, what other games stood out to you guys here during this bowl season, man? We had a lot of games being played. Man, I was a disaster in picks.
You were?
Oh, Jimmy, it was all bad. just from our last go round.
Tell me about the picks. What we do?
Well, you went.
Yeah, actually, did we get? Yeah, let's look at those.
Well, I didn't get our final totals because we got next week yet. We'll wrap it up next week for the season, and we'll pick it up in the spring, and we'll go over our final numbers. But this past picks, just for our bowls that we went over, which was from Penn State, and then of course we had the Fiesta Bowl, we had the Orange Bowl, Outback, Chick-fil-A, and Citrus and Rose. Well,
I think I lost two. I think I was.
Well, you were 3 for 3. 3 for 3.
I was 3 for 3.
3 for 3. Yeah.
Okay.
You got Penn State.
Which one? All right, go ahead.
You got Penn State. You got Wisconsin. All right, and except for the big dude, we all missed with Michigan and South Carolina. Big dude picked South Carolina, and you know. Harbaugh blew that game, man. I'm telling you, he blew that game.
Hold on. What was my third win?
Well, then you got Alabama, but you missed LSU and Auburn.
But I should have had Alabama, and I should have had Notre Dame, which makes 4.
Oh, I had you at LSU.
I don't know. I don't see me going against the Irish, but I might have went with you on that one, I think.
Yeah, you can blame me
for that one. On that one?
Hey, all of us did except for Big Dude. Big Dude's the only one that got that right. Big Dude, he got 5 and 1. He only missed 1. And
man, that's crazy.
But
even when I was watching the game, I was like, "Come on, Notre Dame, let's go." Even then, remember after I text "Go Irish," but that's cool. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'll take that one. I'm still in second place.
Well, wait, I'm double checking this. Wait.
Little extra grade for you right there.
The only one Big Dude missed was Auburn and UCF. And I went was it 1 for 5, man? I mean, I blew it bad. I mean, I got Penn State and Alabama. Or wait, was it 2? I think I got 2 right here. Yeah, I got.
You can't ever get out the bottom.
Oh, I'm done this year, man. I'm toasted. Yeah,
it's over. Yaakov, you went by default. Third place.
Yeah, I'm
look at Graham trying to talk a little.
I'm taking shots, right? Shots fired, Yaakov.
Come on, hey, Chris, you just got a game in like the last 3 weeks. Come on, now you weren't leading the whole
crazy. Well, I've been having hair on my chest for 2 years now, bro. Grown man picks, bro.
Well,
you heard me talk. Hey, listen, you heard me talk about the grades I'm getting. Just call me Gandalf the Great. Gandalf. I'm a wizard. I pick all the right ones.
Like the Grizz, though. I think the Grizz. I think you and I think Spice and the Grizz could be a nice little combo on the big lights. I think.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Called
lights, man.
TV show called Belly Boys.
Yeah, well, I like the Grizz. That's a very lovable name right there. You got the Grizz, man.
I'm telling you, I'm trying to. I got a face made for radio though.
Come on, man. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm over here getting down, grooving with the Grizzlies. All right, WBL. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be like that.
Yeah, the Grizz on WBLF. All right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, so Stefan got it, and then Yaakov was second, Jimmy was third, and I brought up the basement with 2 and 4. So,
wait a minute. Don't let that way. Don't slide that in.
That was just this week. Now, I didn't run the numbers for the final yet.
Yeah, that's just this week, Yaakov. Calm down.
Look at
Calm down. Calm down, Yaakov. Hey, listen, you was 4 and 2. I was 3 and 3. Calm down, Yaakov.
Oh, look I ain't even say that. I just said, hey, I just want to don't let it run past. No. You wanted him to say you was in second place again. Chill out.
Well, and Yakov did text me his picks before the game.
So I believe you.
He was good. He was good.
I wasn't sniping him. I wasn't sniping no wins, Chris. I ain't sniping.
I believe you.
He did good.
I believe he texted to you after he texted to you Saturday night.
That was good.
Yeah.
Hey, what about that Alabama game, man? The Alabama played some ball. They played some ball against Clemson. They did well.
Hey, listen, I like what Clemson did the last couple of years, but we all knew that in the end, not having Deshaun Watson was going to hurt him. So that's why, you remember, keep in mind, the last 2 years, I picked Clemson to win a national championship. Remember that? You know, so
okay.
So from my position, the numbers that I don't know if you guys watched the game, the numbers that they kept putting up, Clemson was doing things with the guys that they have. Like, for example, this is hypothetically speaking, they showed Deshaun Watson's numbers for a season, like rushing the ball and stuff. And let's say he had like 1,000 yards. This quarterback had 500. Let's say they had the top receiver had 1,100 yards. This season, top receiver had 700. You know what I'm saying? So everyone that they lost and everyone that they replaced them did half the numbers for what the previous superstars have done. So what they've been getting, what's helped them is the fact that they've been getting it done by committee. So even though you have a guy with 700 yards, you got 3 other guys who got 400 yards, whereas the pass receiver had 1,100 yards, and the next guy close to him was at 200. You know, so they've been really balancing the ball. Yeah, so they've been doing, winning by committee and stuff, and that's been pretty awesome. So, but they didn't have Alabama's hungry. You know, keep in mind they haven't won the last couple of years, and plus, I don't think people realize that when Alabama wins, LeBron James win the championship too. Him and Nick Saban has been dead on. When Alabama lose, LeBron doesn't win. So I need Alabama to pull this off and win the whole thing, so LeBron could get another one too.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I like how I tied that in there, right? Oh.
That's pretty good. That was good. Well, you remember back at the beginning of the season, we all did our picks, and I remember, Jimmy. I think we all picked the Tide this year. I think all of us.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, we all picked the Tide to roll, and I really think the Tides. I mean, Georgia played some good ball. They played some good ball, but I think the Tide's going to roll. I think the Tide's going to roll this year, just like we picked it.
Yeah, I know that's definitely Big Dude's team, the Tide. I think he picked them. So I know he'll be ready for that one.
Yeah, he should be joining us any second yet. Yeah, so we all kind of picked that, and it's interesting. Each year, we've been coming out. We do our preseason picks, who we think's going to do it, and man, we've been right on like the past few years.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking better than Vegas odds if people listen to us. We do pretty good.
They gotta go through the ups and downs throughout the season, but knowing at the end the payout's gonna be great.
That's right.
So it might be like, you know what? They said the Tides, and then they be like, oh, they lost. So they're not gonna make the playoffs. And I was like, oh, yeah, they're about to win the national championship.
Yeah. But Georgia played some good ball. They play good ball this year. So they they earned their way. They earned their keep to get there. They they definitely deserve to be in the game, and it's just been it's been a great season of football. It really has been. They Oklahoma, and it was a close game, and but they didn't have what it took. They just didn't have what it took. It was 54-48, high scoring game too. I think it was the highest score of a Rose Bowl in history.
Yeah, plus
Plus, the only game to ever go into overtime. Only Rose Bowl game to go into overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what it is? You know, I love the fact that you had a couple of players, you know, telling Baker Mayfield to humble himself. You know, because I always feel, and you know, obviously, I'm not gonna jump on, you know, like Bible beat anyone or nothing like that. But I always feel like the great quarterbacks are the solid quarterbacks who have all the potential in the world. When they start, you know, talking all the crap and, you know, doing certain things instead of being leaders and so on, I always feel that they don't ever win. So, for example, you know, I don't want to say like, you know, someone who didn't do anything like, you know, Johnny Manziel or anything like that. Like, I'm not putting him out there like that. But like I said, when you look at old Brett Favre when he first came out, you know, gunslinger, you know, just talked a lot of stuff and so on and so on when he was in Atlanta. Then they got him out of there. He had to humble himself and so on. He goes on to have a Hall of Fame career. I've been expecting for the longest time, but it hasn't happened. Even when I went going back to playing ball, when I was out there in the NFL, Phil Rivers is talented. I mean, the guy had LaDainian Tomlinson and some great receivers, Gates, and just tons of great receivers and so on. And they had Sean Merriman and lights out defense and Phillips and everyone running around that place and so on and making plays. And he didn't win with that squad. And I think he didn't win because he talked so much crap, you know, and still to this day, he's out there running around talking crap instead of humbling himself. And when he humbles himself, maybe one day, guys, you know, will bless him with the chance to win the big game. Baker Mayfield has gone out there and he put up numbers and he won individual awards and accolades and so on. But we play this game to win championships. We play this game to win rings, and you know what I'm saying? Not just an individual. When you're a competitor, you don't think about, hey, yeah, I won the Heisman. That's great. That's with me. But you'll be respected more when you're able to go out there, lead your squad by example and so on, and be a winner. Now, I'm not questioning his competitive nature or anything like that because the guy is a competitor. But it's a difference between being a competitor, and I'm not asking him to be like a Tim Tebow, but you never questioned Tim Tebow's competitive nature.
No.
And he wasn't out there, you know, grabbing his crotch and doing all that other, you know, stuff that Baker Mayfield do. Yeah. Fighting, you know, with their defense and spiking the fields and stuff with their flags and stuff like that. And, you know what I'm saying? So I just would have liked to see him going forward. Because when you're at the next level, you're not trying to hear no little arrogant guy, you know, running his mouth and so on. It's for many people who love it as a competitor. There's a lot of people out there who will hurt you playing this game and so on just to get you to shut up.
Oh yeah, they'll put
just look at it comes back. Just look at the guy, the linebacker for Cincinnati, Burfict, or whatever however you say his name is.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, Burford.
Yeah. You remember when he got hit by Juju? So it'll come back.
Oh yeah. You put a target on yourself when you do that type of nonsense.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That is an excellent point to make. Wow. Well, hopefully the big dude will join us here soon. He said he'd be in here shortly. A little bit delayed tonight. You know, he's a 24/7 type of guy, college administrator stuff. He's on call all the time, something going on. So hope everything's okay. Then we look forward to catching up here a little bit tonight. But so when we play out this national championship game here, you know, and here's what I thought too. I thought they'd give an extra week. You know, after this playoffs, I thought they'd have a week off, and then kind of like the Super Bowl, you get that week where it's a cool down week to jump in and try to, you know, recover a little bit and go into your final game. They didn't. You know, as soon as the game ended Saturday for these teams, boom, they're right back into it. You know, for the playing for next Saturday. So
you know, and that's what Nick Saban was saying. You know, he was saying that you know, like they don't give them any time. We talk about college kids, not professionals and so on.
Right.
They're in hotels all week and out of their routines, and then they're in
they're not home, so they're in a foreign place with their clothes and locker rooms and everything else and so on. So it's just like, you just moving from here, moving to another place, whereas they should have had the 4 playoff teams in the same place.
Right.
Or
something
but
like
then
that.
Now, let's say if the national championship game and the playoff game was all at the Rose Bowl, hypothetically speaking, then guess what? You get a team here for 2 weeks, or 2 teams here for 2 weeks, 2 teams here for 1 week, because the losers go home right after it's done. And then they don't have to move anywhere. They still in the same situation and so on. They're packing for 2 weeks and so on, and now it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I like that. I guess my biggest concern would be some team would lose all that game, or they would maybe just have to add another game into it, and I guess they could easily do that.
Well, you could go for the 2 and 3, or the 3 and 4 teams, could have a playoff too to determine who's 3 and 4.
Yeah, maybe because I was thinking, like, if somebody would get 4 games in one arena, their revenue would be way higher than probably anybody else's, let alone them being the biggest game.
Well, I don't see it being 4 games. I see it more being 2 games. Obviously, just 4 teams.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a couple ways it could be done, but that'd be so hard to try to set something up like that, But I thought it'd be nice because normally in the past, before we had this type of tournament type of thing in college football, the team playing for the national championship had a week or 2 to prepare for their opponent, so you knew that they were ready to roll for that game. Now it'd be nice if they gave them 1 week off, like this next week. This week would be off. Okay, so this coming Saturday they'd have off, and then it'd be the following Saturday. So at least they could get the guys back home to their facilities, get them back to some type of normalcy to a schedule, and then you do your regular following itinerary for an away game like you'd normally do for the national championship. That would make a lot more sense because teams practice better when they're at their home facilities. So give them a week off, or at least a week down, to be able to get back home, prepare, and that way 2 weeks after this, then you have 2 teams that are really ready to try to go at one another.
Oh no, I totally agree with the both of you guys, but like you said, Skip, it was like that back in the day. They did have a week off before, but here's what it is: the NFL as well as college football has become a business.
Oh yeah.
So for example, if you think about it, the Super Bowl was always played after Valentine's Day.
Yes.
If you go back there. And then also, it was after Valentine's Day, and then it was also the Pro Bowl was after the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Remember?
That's right.
So now, if you look at this, what they did was they pushed it back. Now everything is done before Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So you have the February 2nd or whatever that first week is. That first weekend in February is when the Super Bowl is played, and then the weekend before that is when the Pro Bowl is played. So then now, if you look at it, college football now, if it was to be extended another week, now you'll be going from us not looking at the games this weekend to the following weekend, pushing it to the 12th or the 13th, whatever next weekend is. I believe it's the 12th, or it's Friday, to the 13th and the 14th. So you'll have that weekend. And then if you look at it next weekend, playoff starts for the NFL and so on. So I think it just threw everything off if we were to give them, that extra stuff. So right now, college football should be done by the time the playoffs start for the NFL.
Right.
So that's really how it goes. Now it's like, all right, now the NFL gets all the attention.
Right. And I personally don't like what they did with the Pro Bowl in the NFL. I think that should be after the Super Bowl.
Because it should be something that's rewarding. It's like it's like if you're going for a Super Bowl and stuff like that, like you can't play in it. And it's like, man, that used to be a great thing for the family and friends and All-Star game. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like Major League Baseball. They shut down Major League Baseball to have the All-Star game, right? So, why having it before the Super Bowl makes no sense. Because, like you say, the guys playing them.
Yeah, it does, because guess what? It gives players, for us as players, a lot of us, when I was playing, agreed to it to some point because, I mean, we wasn't thinking about it like that, but we agreed to having the Super Bowl be moved up in obviously the first week of February be the bowl game, for us to play in. But here's what it is: if you look at most of us, we head back to camp July.
Yeah.
So usually camp starts the end of July, so we get the 4th of July with our family. August, September, October, so trick or treat with your kids. Unless they're there with you or so on, you still got to work and stuff on Halloween. You still got to do certain things for every holiday. So that's Halloween, that's Thanksgiving. I don't think there's been a year yet that I haven't practiced on Thanksgiving Day. So it's even play a game. And same thing when it comes to Christmas, New Year's Eve. I remember my ex-wife, her birthday is New Year's Eve, so I can never celebrate with her. If you look at it this year, this past New Year's Eve was on a Sunday. So guys was playing games and different stuff, and I see them doing little changes, like maybe a guy play a Saturday game and do different stuff like that for Christmas or stuff like that. But we really didn't have those options back in the day. So now it's like we just missing nothing but holidays with our families and so on. So I think it was like wives complaining, coaches want to be with their wives, different stuff and so on. And the only way that happens is if you're not in the playoffs and you're not playing ball.
Well, that's true. That's true. And you don't want to be on one of those teams.
Yeah.
That's a team you don't want to be on.
Well, I guess if you think about the Patriots, if you've been on the Patriots for the last how many years, I'm sure, like you said, that type of stuff, all they dealing with. I mean,
yeah, but if you look at that, even when you look at that situation, there's only a few guys. I mean, the Patriots rotate guys so much that usually it's like, what? I'm a Patriot, so we know like, think about it. It's just like right now, if as a basketball player, if I sign with Golden State, San Antonio or Cleveland, we're thinking we're going to be in the finals. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to the finals this year. So babe, no matter what the situation is, if we sign with the Patriots in January, our wives, family, kids, and so on is like, oh man, you're going to win the ring this year. You know what I'm saying? So they have their mindset already for that situation. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Whereas right now, Minnesota and the the LA Rams and so on, they like, well, hold up, how far they all go? When they gonna get knocked out? What's the situation with them? And every week that they win in the playoffs, it's a surprise and it's extra happiness and so on. But it's like, oh my God, they got a shot.
Yeah, that's a good point though, because they have built that up where it's like, that program can't even go bad. It seems. It seems like even after Belichick, they're gonna just be not satisfied until they get, just like Penn State. I feel, they've had so much success. It's just an expectation now. You can't even let it slip. It can't even slip. So.
Yeah, that's they said they got quite a program there, and though I've always been a diehard Steeler fan, I'm very disappointed with the Rooney family and management. What happened here with Harrison? I know we touched on that last week, but
hey, did you see his thing that Harrison came on and said?
No.
Did
he tweet?
He posted on Instagram and stuff, and he said that the Steelers made him feel. He said, "Do you really believe that I signed with the Steelers to be a bench warmer?"
That's right.
He said, I signed with the Steelers. They made me believe at 39. He said, at 39 years old, you think I signed just to sit on the bench? He said, I signed to play, to be a competitor, to compete for the job, to be in a rotation and so on. He said, so when he signed, he had the chance to sign else in other places, beginning of the season and stuff. and obviously he signed back with the Steelers, thinking that he was going to be able to play. He said week in, week out, he, during preseason and stuff, he was asking for reps and stuff, and he's just like, well, we already know what you can do. Let's let the young guys get reps.
Well, let's let the man who knows how to make it happen do it. I mean, that's why.
Yeah, and he was he was like basically they was buying time for the most part. He said so. Then now being inactive, going up and down, he said he asked to be released 3 times this year. He said after the first game and so on, when he didn't play, he asked to be released, and so after the 3rd game he didn't play, he asked to be released, and so on. And he said he just kept going to where they told him that he was going to play. He went out there, he dressed, and then he said he just stood on the sideline. After that game, he asked to be released. He said, he wanted to play. And then he said, finally, at whatever the situation was, losing linebackers and everything else and so on, finally they decided to release him. So he's just like, well, they finally made a big business decision. Now here is the end of the season. Now you're going to release me?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, that wasn't a slap to the face. And then he said he still wanted to play ball.
Yeah.
So what did he do when he's 39 years old and no other team makes him an offer but the Patriots?
Hey.
He said they make him they made a business decision. I still want to play. So he signed with the Patriots. He went out there that first game and had 6 tackles and 2 sacks.
Oh yeah. Listen, he's a monster. Listen, you can't take a guy that good. You cannot take a guy who is that good. He's an anomaly compared to most people that age. This guy's a monster, okay? You can't take somebody who's been that much of a fierce competitor his entire life and torment him. That's like putting a guy in hell to go through something like that, to be in the sidelines and not play. I mean, that's his life, man. That's what he's been doing. So you can't have that happen. And I don't blame the man at all. I think it's going to be the demise of the Steelers when they play the Patriots. Because I mean, you think about what you got to do.
I would love to see him. I would love to see him because now everyone. I mean, you got the diehard Steelers fan that hate him and so on.
No,
and me, I would love. I don't care who wins, but I would love for him to have at least 3 sacks versus Roethlisberger. How awesome would that be? Can you imagine him finishing the game in the playoffs? Let's say win, lose, or draw, whatever the case would be. Let's say whether they win or whether they lose. Can you imagine him with 3 sacks, 5 tackles, 6 tackles, 3 sacks, 2.5 sacks, 2 sacks, 6 tackles versus his whole team? What?
And then getting.
That's gonna be a classic.
Oh wow! Well, not on top of that, but then just think then to get a ring.
If he get a Patriots ring, because he's going. I mean, I think what they're saying is they're gonna try to torture him where he doesn't make the Ring of Honor and stuff with the Steelers. But can you imagine that he already has 2 rings with the Steelers?
Yeah.
So can you imagine him with 3 rings and one of them is the year that
they released him? Man, I mean
that they released him with that.
That's justice. Hey, that's poetic justice.
Kudos to him because the NFL don't respect the players.
You know, an interesting story that I could share since we talk about him.
Right. Well, Yakov, let me tell you what, we got 50 seconds to our station ID break, so try to get it in real quick if you can. If not, we'll pick it right up.
I was just gonna say real quick. I was on the Steelers with him in 2004, and he had just got back from Europe, and it was Roethlisberger's rookie year. And nobody knew really who he was. He came into camp from Europe, and ever since then he became, one of the greatest, players. Just shot out of a cannon. So
phenomenal career for sure. So. Hey, folks, you're listening to Lions Live on the Forever Lions Network, the only network put by the players for plans. Please stand by for a station ID break.
HatcherFoundation.org for more information. At 106.3 FM and 970 AM.
WBLF Bellefonte State College. W292 EZ. Altoona Bellefonte State College.
Local news, sports, and weather. WBLF. Depend on it.
All right, we're back here to Lions Live. the Grizz, Jimmy Kennedy, Yakov. These are my name's Skip Dravos. We've been hoping to get the big dude in here tonight. Something's going on, but we'll be sure to wrap it up next week here with him. And Yakov, you were just telling us about your time there with the Steelers. Please share some more, man, because I mean, tell us what his work ethic was like. Tell us what it was like just seeing him play.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, he was such a big guy. He wasn't that tall, you know, he was such a big guy. And he was real hungry, but, you know, at that time, the Steelers had power, and the Steelers were like an older veteran team. Like, I remember some of the guys on that team, or a lot of the guys on that defense, you know, had like 8 to 10 years experience, you know.
Yeah, we had Hines Ward, Joey Porter, all those guys out there.
Trying to remember, Chad Scott was one of the D-backs. He was like 12 years, I think, as a corner. I mean, it was another guy, I think his name might have been Deshaun, maybe Johnson, can't remember, but he came in, and he was like a 10 or 12 year corner. And then they had another safety, and I can't slip in my mind, but he was over 10 years. You know, Porter.
Troy?
Huh?
You talking about Troy?
Well, Palomalo was there, and had host from Florida State. And,
yeah,
and you know, and the Buss was there.
Yeah.
Stanley was there. Hines Ward was there. Charlie Maddox was there. You know what I mean? Like they had a very. I mean, Hardings was there from Penn State. You know what I'm saying? But Joe Hardings was from Penn State. He had been on the team for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
They had a very, very mature team, you know, at that time when Harrison came in. So he didn't really get any type of, like, he was just a small name. You know what I mean? Like, all those names right there. Hamilton was at the nose. You know what I'm saying? They had a lot of big names and with a lot of experience. So,
yeah.
So, but it seemed like all those guys, once they got that Super Bowl, they all kind of just fizzled out. You know what I'm saying? So Harrison was like the guy that was there with them, you know, at the end for those last like 2 years. You know, and then he was just like from there, you know, he just had all of that knowledge. I mean, he just had so much knowledge.
Yeah.
I learned so much from Hines Ward just from guarding him.
Oh, really?
Man,
wow.
Guarding him, like, because he was not fast. He was not fast as like other receivers. Like he was like a 4.6. You know what I'm saying?
But he always wound up open. He always found a way to be open.
He was able to do whatever he wanted to do, though. You know what I mean? He was able to do whatever he wanted to do. So, you know, and he was tough. You know, he used to like go out there and like hit linebackers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, well, I mean.
And Harrison's not a real tall guy, 6 foot, but 242, man. And the
but he was embraced. He was embraced by you know, some of the greatest. I mean, you think of Dick Rambeau was the defensive coordinator. You know, Mean Joe Green was on the staff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like that was a great program, and they won the Super Bowl the year after I was there. But I mean, you know, that was just a great. They had a great amount of experience.
Sure.
That for somebody going in there like Roethlisberger, like Harrison, to get all that and that, you know, I mean, it was a great. I don't know how the other teams were because that was the only team I was on. But I just felt that I just got a lot of respect for the Steelers. I got a lot of respect. You know, I can't speak about them now, but like those last years when Cowher was there, you know, his last 2 years, you know, that I had a lot of respect for them.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well,
appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, that's great insights there, Yakov. That's awesome to hear stuff like that. And he's had a phenomenal career. I mean, 16 years in the NFL is Incredible.
Yeah.
You know? And for him, his workout, his work ethic, and for him to be in the shape he is at that age, he's just an anomaly. You know, he's an anomaly. And and I hope if he wins the Super Bowl, if he decides he wants to keep playing, I hope he does. Good for him. Why not, man? Why not? I mean, I think this guy here, if he stays in the type of shape he is in, and his body obviously isn't failing on him in any way at all. Why not? I mean, hey, you go for it as long as you can go for it, and then, you know, you get old and you know, like all of us start to fart dust. You didn't think about coaching, you know. So yeah, so good for him, man. It'll be interesting to see how the NFL plays out this year. Well, this has been a fastest hour in football, guys, and I was hoping the big dude would have been with us here tonight. I hope he's all right, and we trust everything is okay with him. We'll definitely get him back on next week, and of course, we got our picks here this week, and I think we already know where everybody's going to go. We got Georgia and we got Alabama, and
Alabama for me.
Yeah, the Tide's gonna roll. Tide will.
Yeah, I think they woke up, man. I think they
got hungry again.
But you know, I mean, Georgia got something to say too, though. I mean, they got something to say too. So, you know, I mean, I don't think they'll make the same mistakes as like Georgia could have easily lost that game. They could have easily lost that game based off the turnovers and so on. If they make those mistakes versus Alabama, Alabama's going to capitalize against them.
Oh yeah,
make them pay.
For sure. I think the Tide's going to roll just like we picked it. You know, before the season. I don't think the big dude's going to go against the Tide.
Nah,
I don't see that happening. So, but we'll give a recap here next year of all of our picks. I'll get the numbers and see how we all did. And I have a feeling I'm buying everybody lunch or dinner whenever they come up here. So,
sounds cool. hey, well, sounds cool. I just need your card. I'm gonna order me some wings or something on you. Just use your card.
Oh, that's all right. I got you.
So wait. You know I got to say, we will have to have a bowl season champ as well. No.
Okay.
Next year we could do that. Not this year.
Yeah, we can't make it up as we go.
And either, hold on. First off, we can't do that because we should have had it in place. Second off, Big Dude to win both of them.
All the bowls. Next year, I think we got to do all 40 bowls. I think it was 39 bowl games. All bowl games and have a bowl season champion.
Well, you know your coach.
Oh, you talking about playoffs?
Yeah.
Then we got a regular season champ, and then you got to get second, so you can get two titles. You can get two titles in 1 year.
I like that. I like that, Yakov, and we'll do. You know, if you go to our website lionslive.com, you know, I actually had those picks up ready for us to make. And you know, it was just the week that my mom was sick and I couldn't come in. We couldn't do that, and I had that ready for us to all pick. So that'd have been a lot of fun. The Lord willing, here next year we'll do that all. I like that idea. I like that idea. So we'll do that next year, and we have the bowl picks. You know, champ of the bowl picks, and we'll have the champ of the regular season picks with the Big Ten, and it sounds like a great plan, Yakov. We'll definitely have that.
We can make it in. You know, and you know, just a little a remembrance of your mom too.
Oh, well,
we can make it a way that we can remember. You know, this time we was all together. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, man. You know, every people ask me, say, "Hey, Skip, how you holding up?" And I keep telling people, you know, I'm being upheld. Okay, Lord's good to me and good for church family and people around. Because I don't hold up well. You know, I mean, I changed my life around to care for my mom the past few years, and she's declining in health. So just lifestyle changes. But I'm thankful, man. I'm blessed, and she's a godly woman. She's with Jesus now, and I'm thankful. So you know, she didn't die without hope. You know, and to me, that there's nothing matters more than making sure that my family and friends and everybody I love, I get to see again. You know, not because of what they've done, but because of what the Lord's done for them. You know, on the cross for us. So nothing matters more. And so, you know, I'm thankful, I'm blessed, and I appreciate everybody's prayerful support and stuff from my family. And but next year, it's another year here, and we're already into it. Penn State's starting out with a win, and good things going to be happening for us. And Jimmy, you mentioned about wings, but I'll get you out here to Hogfathers, man. We'll all go head out there.
Okay.
All right, and you'll like it out there, man. You can get the wings there too, but they got the ribs, they got everything you can think of. And Glenn out there at Hogfathers will take good care of us, and I'd be glad to have you out. And it'll be a lot of fun. I'll make it up this spring, okay? So I'll take everybody out here in the spring because I figure everybody should be back here by then. We all be out for the spring game. So, but hey, hopefully next week the big dude will be out here with us, and we'll be able to wrap it all up here for a season and come back again here for the spring ball. So, thank you guys so much, and thank everybody out there for listening. And we can't thank you all enough. But one more week left, folks, and we'll wrap it all up here for this season. So, any parting words or comments, guys, before we sign off for tonight?
No, I'm good this time. hey, everybody, wish everybody a best wishes in 2018. Happy New Year, everyone. Best wishes, man.
Yep, all the best of promise to everybody out there in this year to come, man. Thank everybody for listening. So on behalf of the big dude, Stephen Davis, who couldn't make it with us tonight, we'll get him back next week here, and Yakov Israel and the Briz, Jimmy Kenny. My name's Skip Roberts. Thanks so much for tuning in here to Lions Live, folks. It's the Forever Lions Network, and we look forward to catching you here all again next week. So y'all have a great week. Lord bless. We'll catch you then.
Sounds good. Be cool, fellas.
All right, Lord bless.
Cool, fellas. Cool, fellas. Yeah.
And we're going to return right now to our regular scheduled program. We got Dana here on WBLF.
And I'm trying very hard to practice Proverbs 24:17 right now. Google it. See, I'm going to make y'all look it up. I'm trying very hard. It's one of those things with which I struggle. Just going with that. Proverbs 24:17. It's a Proverbs kind of day. That's going to be a verse for the day, y'all. Anyway, I'm just, I'm dealing with that. So, yeah. I'm just, FYI. Anyway, audio sound by 10. Rand Paul had the right note on the tax bill. Check it.
This tax cut is heavily weighted towards the middle class.